Today on CCX News, egg shortage impact, how the shortage caused by the bird flu outbreak is affecting local restaurants. Thanks for joining us. The egg shortage has sent prices skyrocketing and restaurants are bearing the brunt of it. At Papa's Café in New Hope, they go through at least 2,500 eggs a week. A case of eggs used to cost $40, but just this week, owner Doug Sturika said he paid $130. To help weather the storm, Sturika made the tough decision about a month ago to implement a temporary $1 per egg surcharge.
I had to do it one other time and I didn't like it then. It's a matter of survival at this point.
According to United Egg Producers, roughly 104 million egg-laying hens have been lost since the bird flu outbreak began in 2022. So the shortage is impacting restaurants and consumers alike. After a nearly month-long stalemate, the full Minnesota House convened again for the first time on Thursday. Shannon Sladden sat down with Representative Samantha Vang of Brooklyn Center to talk more about it for this week's Newsmakers.
Well, we're all very eager to return to the House floor. It's been quite a long couple of weeks for everyone, but we've all been very busy. I myself just had a tour at the Como Zoo. I have been privileged to co-chair Legacy Committee, and that's a committee where many of our zoos, for example, the Como Zoo, do get some funding from. And so I've fed a giraffe this morning, which is fun.
That is fun.
And I get to do fun things like meeting with constituents and talking with stakeholders on what are their funding requests for this year, and what we can do to really look at how can we continue to serve Minnesotans. Because it is a budget year this year, so we're really excited to get down to the nitty-gritty of what does our state budget looks like.
All right, it's going to be a job. So what have you been up to in the past few weeks? Have you been meeting with people? What have you heard your constituents say?
Yes, definitely. So a lot meeting with constituents, having coffee with residents, neighbors, meeting with I think stakeholders around the area.
Sure.
I think one time I had a tour recently at the North Memorial Hospital, talking about what their infrastructure needs are, and then just meeting. And honestly, I've learned that this is usually around the time where we as a committee, as members, do a lot of informational hearings, and it's actually a lot more fun and a lot more hands-on to be able to be in district and talk directly to stakeholders and actually see kind of the programs they're running, the people that they serve. And so I think this is a better option than actually staying in committee and having presentations slide after slide. So it's been quite a good couple of weeks for us.
All right, always good to get out and about for sure.
Yes.
And you're excited about sharing Legacy.
Yes.
So for folks who are not familiar with what that is, how do you describe it?
Yeah, so Legacy, Minnesota is very fortunate to have what's called the Legacy Amendment, in which it was on the ballot where Minnesotans voted to have a portion of the sales tax have dedicated funding to fund things like parks and trails, outdoors heritage, and a really fun bucket is the arts and culture here in Minnesota. So many of these funding goes towards things like the Minnesota Historical Society or the Minnesota Zoo or Como Zoos, or many of our public radio stations, for example. So many, I have the privilege to be able to see a lot of the fun things that we get to fund, and it's a pretty fun committee. It's not like the other committees like bonding where they talk about wastewater treatment and whatnot. Those tend to be more boring, but in Legacy we talk about a lot of fun stuff. So very excited.
And a lot of need out there, so some tough decisions ahead for you.
Yes.
All right, well, Representative Samantha Vang, Brooklyn Center, thank you very much for stopping by today.
Thank you.
A Brooklyn Park business owner is the inaugural recipient of a Community Impact Award. Reporter Emily Haugen shares what that award means to the winner and his community.
We've still got 15 minutes before we close it.
One thing's for sure, Roger Backstrom keeps busy. Ask anyone, including him.
Owning a restaurant, of course, requires a lot of attention and time. It's something I love to do.
He's the owner of Godfather's Pizza in Brooklyn Park, curator of the world's largest smelt fry, and a big supporter of the area's youth.
And it has just filled my heart with a great deal of satisfaction, joy, and just feeling like I belong someplace.
So much so, he was recognized for his support last week with Foundation Elevation's 2024 Community Impact Award.
Stories and stories about his different donations and support and the time that he donates in community, his volunteering, his impact is so powerful, and he helps a lot of people.
This is the award's first year. Foundation Elevation owner Katie Flanagan says Backstrom was the perfect first candidate.
He's really an inspiration and just a really good person to be around.
But Backstrom says he's following in the footsteps of so many great leaders.
You just can't imagine the amount of joy and the amount of connection you can feel and just the amount of satisfaction of knowing you're doing something positive to make the community where you live a better place to work, live, or play. Want like 6?
Behind the counter at Godfather's, Backstrom focuses on nostalgia and connection.
I appreciate it.
In that work, he uplifts the city's future. In Brooklyn Park, Emily Haugen, CCX News.
You can stop by to congratulate Backstrom at his Godfather's location on Unity Avenue in Brooklyn Park.